Hello, everyone, and welcome to UK Valorant, and welcome to the UK University 10 Mans. I'm Raptros. I'm joined by Moxie for this one. What a game one that we had from standout performances from both Jets, but now. Having done Split, we head on to Haven, and I know why you're smiling.
I love this map. I love this map for the one reason, and it's because it's so punishing. Think of all of the angles that Haven has for defense. See long, mid window, all of these. If the attackers peek in too early, if they get too cocky, bam! They're already dead.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I guess I think the map that is the most different from at least my background, normal Counter Strike match, for example, because you have those three bomb sites instead of the two. It's just like Counter Strike players we can only counter two, so it's so it's really difficult for us to consider.
I mean, Overwatch
site, so.
players, we don't even understand the square that we're meant to be standing on. But like objective, what's that? But Haven is one of those where you have to have that objective completely and constantly in mind because of the amount of fake plays that you can get around this. This is decoy the map because you've got B, and B exists pretty much as the sole reason to trick defenders into heading towards B while you actually sneak around to either A or C.
Yeah, and we'll see how that dynamic continues into this one. We actually have the teams up on screen for you now, and that's Cypher, very optimistic name. I win next game. Well, let's see if that will come to fruition. As we're basically calling them Team Fab on the offensive and Team TJ on the defensive, I believe. I hopefully have gotten them the right way around, but out onto the pistol round we go here. It looks like it's going to be a mid-commitment here from the offensive side, maybe towards those garage doors. Looks like the spike's going first, which is probably not the best of plans. Alliator here inside the window with the Phoenix, but gets cut down by Blute and TJ. There we go. That's the danger of having the spike go first. If you get cut down early, that's a lot of information going the way of the defenders.
And it's just going to be TJ still holding down C-Link as the rest of Team Fab just try to go for a wraparound and work on to be completely ignoring that Omen.
Yeah, here we go. Pateo Warlord on the Sova trying to solo hold this C-bomb site at the moment. He does have reinforcements coming in. The spike has been planted, trying to swing around, but can't quite get the taps onto the Brimstone as the Brimstones trade each. And there we go. There's the retake coming through for Team TJ. The defuse there from Igni, able to close that one out. But I did... for Team Fab, losing that spike inside of the garage window really did not help because it was able to allow Team TJ to rotate into position and actually able to deal with that. They don't have to be worried about fakes from that point forwards if they know where the spike is.
And something else that Team Fab are going to have to be constantly worried about, they're not going to be able to fake out Team TJ. Team TJ have the Sova, so they are going to know instantly the moment when a false push is turned into okay, we just turn around and go to another point. Whereas Team Fab, they've got the Cypher. It's very hard for that Cypher to get the camera set up because all of Team TJ are just going to know exactly where that is once you actually start trying to use it.
Yeah, here we go. More of an A-sided play in this instance for Team Fab. They are down onto the pistol, so they're not really expecting much out of this one. Alliator, though, with the shotgun. Let's see if he's able to make this one work. He chases through, and there goes the head of the breach as he, gets closed in on by the Cypher. Tries to do a bit of damage through the door, but decides to back away instead. Another kill going the way of the defender. Soba's picked one up towards the second mid position, but it looks like Team Fab, they've already got out towards A, but they don't have the spike, so that one's a little bit embarrassing there. They put that one down towards the sort of attacker side of mid doors there, as you can see that up on the mini-map. So they have to try and recover that, but the Phoenix is pushing through here. Might have to take the fight here, this raise. There we go. The shotgun at long range, not doing a ton of damage, although Squiggle still unable to win the fight, but there goes the blast pack straight to Alliator's face.
Yeah, unfortunately, Team Fab suffering once again from not having that spike in their position. They do have it picked up now, though, and it is going to be headed onto a forward plant. But, well, DJ's that. Not for much longer, though.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward there for the Omen. trying to get the dark cover through, but just being caught on the timing. And now it's a 1 versus 2 here for Team Fab. The Rays of Squiggles still left alive here against the Sage and against the Sova. And it's going to be very difficult for this Rays to be able to win out this round because Team TJ, they're slowly but steadily isolating these angles. On the Squiggles, he's trapped behind the Sova wall and he's trying to break it down. The defuse is coming in from Team TJ and it comes through for them. They get the kill at the end as well. That was the best placed Sova wall I've ever seen there as the Rays had nothing to deal with it. They didn't have any of their abilities to try and break down the wall. They just had to sit there, just knife it and just try and break it down as that defuse was coming in. But unfortunately for him, not enough time for that to happen.
Yeah, if you can't shoot down that Sage wall, it stays up for roughly 40 seconds, so it is going to be a hard time getting through it, even if you have a gun. Team TJ, they were so nicely just set up on all of the angles. You had the Sova up in heaven, you had the Sage just camping out where that spike was needed to be planted, and so something that Team Fab is really going to have to work on in big rotations. They cannot lose the spike carrier early as they've been doing in the past couple of rounds.
Yeah, the Brimstone smoke on the mid window there. As it's a nice place for the attackers to peek early on, as long as you can rely on your aim. As I win next game, the Cypher, as I'll refer to him through the rest of this game, because I can't be bothered to say it in full, especially if he's not winning. He gets detected by that Sova drone as well, so we'll simply have to back away. He was just teasing some presence there towards C, but the trade's already happened there. There's an upgrade there for Potato Warlord. Onto the operator he goes. Squiggles deals with the push through from the defenders as well. So 4 versus 3 situation, and it looks like Team Fab, they're still in flux at the moment. The aggressive positioning from that Phoenix is going to be a big problem as he takes out the breach, and now Team Fab, they have question marks in their mind. They're sort of stuck like deers in the headlights, wondering what the hell's going on. What do they want to do next with 37 seconds left?
And Haven is one of those maps which punishes indecision. You have to decide on the point that you're going to attack, and apparently they have reached that decision. It's going to be C, but Team TJ is going to be that the Sage trying to cut them off, but it will be 1 versus 3. Make that 1 versus 2.
Yeah, Mikey on the Sage. Spike's been recovered though, but numbers advantage going the way of the defenders. It will be traded back though. Not a lot of time left remaining. The Spike carries down, 10 seconds left. So this Rays has to find the frags at the moment. I'm not sure why the defenders are even trying to peek him at this stage, because it just gives him a chance to win the round as the defenders are able to take that one. But again, it was a late play towards that C site and a good delay tactic there from the defenders. And, you know, as soon as that Spike carrier goes down with no one close to try and recover or try to trade, that means just the round is gone there as far as the attackers are concerned.
And as soon as Omen's dark cover goes down as well, out goes the peaking potential for Team Fab, because all of Team TJ are completely obscured by that smoke. So it will be Team Fab trying to get 1 point on the board currently. They haven't managed to do it in the past 3 rounds. Looks like they're going to be changing up their attacking position. No one going for mids, all of them full pushing A, and so Team TJ might actually be caught a little bit with their trisers down. They have to rotate quickly over to A, sensing that there's just no one around the rest of the map.
Woo! Look at that from the breach. Just deletes the Brimstone with the Sheriff. A big old swing there, and he's going to get even more aggressive with the ability through as well. But the paint shells from Squiggles, they do connect onto at least one. Blute finds another for the attacking side as they try to secure this A plant. But Mikey from the window, can he spot out ahead? He can, but he can't connect. Squiggles with the sniper takes him out, and Squiggles again lines another one up. So it just leaves the Sova Potato Warlord on the Marshall there, I believe, as he'll try to at least keep this in hand and maybe try and find a couple of exit frags. But apart from that, I don't think it's going to happen for the Hunter.
Oh, he looks like he wants to peek, but peeking is going to be a death sentence. They're shooting through the wood. He risks it, and it doesn't really work out in his favor or his team. It's actually really nice as well that he knew he only had one angle really to worry about. They don't have a jet on Team Fab, so no one would be able to go up through that window unless the Sage walled herself up. Unfortunately, his patience just runs out, and Valorant is very much about patience. If you lose your patience, you normally lose your head very quickly afterwards.
Yeah, and a good example of that in that round. Team Fab, though, stacked up towards C. Vast majority of players. Sova's there ready to recon bolt through, I believe. Well, he's got his knife out at the moment, but recon bolt obviously available. He's actually shot with the pistol, though. He'll be straight into his demise. Squiggles just swings it with the operator, and down goes the Sova. So C bomb site offensive in full swing. Arc is able to take out Alliator. You know, the defense on the pistols here, not expecting that much out of the round, but they've been able to find the frag, so they do stunt the push a little bit here. Team Fab are delayed in terms of getting that spike plant down, and the Omen's on the flank here as well, but Squiggles seems to be all over it. The Cypher Tripwire will give up the ghost. Squiggles not able to connect the shot though, but still, that's important for Cyphers to learn, is just allow those sort of anti-flank tripwires there, so that they are more secure when they take a bomb site than they otherwise would be.
I mean, it was very secure though when Team Fab moved into that bomb site, and that all rolls off the back of Potatoes and Patience once again. This Sova just peaked, and I would have liked to see that recon bolt coming out on C long as much as you had, but unfortunately, no, he just goes in with the gun and gets immediately mowed down. So hopefully Potato has learned from his mistake and will be relying a little bit more on the information that his agent actually allows.
Yeah, so 3-2, the scoreline in this one. Here comes the recon bolt. As if it's successfully placed, it'll be find 2 players. Oh, gets destroyed before it even has the chance to do so. Early frags going on. Alliator takes out the breach. Sage onto the Omen. Paranoid about a flank as well. I didn't see... Yeah, I don't see if there's any reason to. They didn't have anyone early towards A, but... you know, they're just getting a little bit paranoid at the moment. But Alliator pushing through, and that push will be dealt with by Blut as well, as he's on the big old LMG that I still haven't lit the name of. That is unfortunate, but he's showing that he can deal with any weapon in this game. Potato Warlord though, 2k, 3k. Oh my word, he swung this into the favor of TJ's team now, and well, Arc brings it down to a 1 versus 1. So this is really turned on its head here. We'll get the split screen up once again, as that Sova in the hay bales at the moment sends the recon bolt through, and it will be destroyed. So at least the fact that it's been destroyed is giving him a little bit of information. Even though it didn't activate and tag up that Brimstone, he still knows he's inside that garage at the moment. The Brimstone trying to swing through, and it's won by the Sova on the defense. There we go. Potato Warlord, brilliant performance in that round, is able to score another one for Team DJ.
And again, really patient play coming up. We saw that he put the recon bolt down C, and that time around he was so patient. He had his ult as well, and I was actually really surprised he didn't pop it, because that would have been instant kill assured. That goes all the way through the map. But no, he keeps a hold of it, and it means he will have it for this push. It looks like he wants to. There we go. Has learned. Recon bolt down C lane is just the best way to start off your defense on Haven.
There we go. Let's see. Again, these attempted early trades, these attempted early peaks, at least not in this instance, resulting in anything for either team. That Phoenix has been teasing with that push through second mid as well. Or, well, that's a CS term. This is sort of mid doors sort of area, as Squiggles very well aware of that possibility. So, which is why he was scoped up on that position. But the Phoenix didn't decide to go for it. Team Fab trying to work out, trying to probe the edges of the map here, and Cypher might have just been able to find the timing here, because Phoenix backed off towards those doors, and now the Cypher can push through, and Alliator caught with his pounce down. The static cage, the cage comes through as well for the Cypher to try and play around with these angles a little bit more, and 1 frag, 2 frag means C bomb site open for the offense, as the defenders try and work their way back in. As the Hunter's Fury comes out from Potato Warlord, trying to tag up a couple of players, but not going to happen in this instance, as the offenders try to clean up here the breach, making short work of some of these players. There's the trade coming through, though, from Mikey, so he has to manage a 1 versus 4 here. Now 1 versus 3, but you know, does he even decide to go for it in this situation? It's very tricky for him even to get out of it, as I win next game, trying to make sure that becomes a reality.
Can we just rename every window in Valorant to coffin? Because it feels like every single time a player tries to peek a window, they are just immediately 6 feet underground.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a bit of an awkward engagement because you have 2 elevation levels as well there, and it's just, yeah, it's all sorts of awkward. But, you know, coming into this round now, Team Fab, still one round the difference between these two, so it's still a close run thing early on here on Haven. But at the moment, we've seen a pretty disciplined setup from Team TJ. They haven't been really going for very many aggressive pushes. They've just been holding the crossfires and just being patient, but now they won't. And Alliator with the aggressive peek and straight into the crosshair of Breach. So that gives a man advantage to the offensive side here early on. So just as I was praising them about being passive, they decide to undermine me completely.
Team Fab going for, once again, that playing for picks approach, waiting for Team TJ to come out of position, and that's when they're going to get aggressive, when the numbers advantage is full swing in their favor.
Yeah, so a bomb site secure. It's one of the first times they've actually probed towards this side of the map, so changing things up here. Our Team Fab, TJ on the sort of weaker buy here, really trying to grasp at straws. At least they'll be able to find one frag before they go down. The teleport across to make sure the Omen is at least a little bit safer. Maybe trying to recover a gun as well in that situation. See, we're trying to play around with the angles on the wall there. The Omen will be found, and there's not a lot of time left for this Sova to be able to do anything. Tries to take a fight with the Cypher. The shock bolt through. Won't connect, I don't think, but he goes for another attempt, and that one lands short. So the inaccuracy leaves more to be desired there with the arrows.
But Blue doesn't care about accuracy right now, just shooting through walls, although you are going to see Potato managing to make it out with an absolute sliver of HP of that round. Keeps the gun, and he will be actually the only real member, unless the menu is bugging out once again, to have an actual good gun behind him, because it looks like, oh, there we go, buys coming through.
Yeah, I think the state of things is that we can see the buys for the defenders. We can't see the buys as they happen for the attackers. I think that's the bug right now. So you can see the saved weapons, though, but you can't see the actual guns that have been bought in this round immediately. So Riot, please fix.
Well, what we can see is where Team TJ and Team Fab are setting up, and it seems like Team Fab are once again going to go for this very measured approach of wait for Team TJ to peek out on their own selves and then go for the punishment. As I say that, though, you are going to see that Raze trying to peek Long.
The boombot through will show no one at very close angles on the left-hand side of C-site, though. So at least that's a little nugget of information gained by Team Fab. The Cypher camera up as well, making sure, well, they know no one is actively peeking mid from the defender side at the moment. They're just holding the crossfire inside that site at the moment. So again, a pretty passive setup from TJ. We see no aggressive Phoenix push just yet. In fact, the Phoenix is readjust from playing that garage doors side to playing A site by himself at the moment. So that's been a slight adjustment as Team Fab stack up here towards the C site.
Really split at the moment. They've got Mikey just alone on P at the moment with TJ there. Ryan
the recon
backup is needed, but looks like that's going to be a full push on C.
Yeah, the shockwave comes through from the breach as well. Potato Warlord, he's completely stunned up. He's inside the smoke as well. Is he on the edge of that? Can the attackers see him? They can't at the moment as he swings round, tries to line them up. Potato Warlord has 3, Squiggles with 2, Igni with one of the final frags, but there's still this breach left on Team Fab with the operator trying to do some work. But my word, a little bit of a miscommunication there from Team Fab, not checking the site thoroughly. You see that player the Sova hiding inside the smoke, all stunned up from that breach, mind you. And then once he's covered, just swings out that smoke, just mows players down. He couldn't ask for much better of a clutch play than that.
And Team Fab, actually, they were all just clustered around, so as soon as that bullet spray comes out, a whole bunch of them just go down. If they'd been a little bit further away from each other, if they'd been practicing social distancing, then maybe they would still be alive. But they're not going to be too upset. They've got 3 ultimates going in as our camera just goes round and round, trying to figure out where these teams are going. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of a split from the defense, with only one this time trying to hold down the fort over at A. And Team Fab, they might be able to realize that and push in.
Yeah, an early kill for Team Fab as well. So, a good advantage in this round. In fact, they'll explore towards B site here. The Brimstone's still here at that right-hand angle, at least as far as the offender is concerned there. Igni here. That Vandal tries to take multiple fights, but, well, he knows when he's been beat, tries to back away in that situation. The orbital strike comes through. It's good for 2 with the Brimstone ult. And now 3 versus 3. Even Steven. Spike has been lost as far as the attackers are concerned. And Igni, he might be looking for more here. He's going to decide to push through his own smoke. The Sage, wall is down as well. Has the Spike been recovered? I don't think it is. I think it's at that Brimstone's feet. It is. He's got so much control here.
Yeah, Team Fab are going to have to push in if they want to use it. They do manage to get at the Phoenix side, but it isn't the Brimstone, and that's the key pick they need to swing things in their favor.
2 versus 2. Brimstone still has the control of the Spike. 4 kills in the round. He's looking for the ace. The Cypher on Team Fab left alive. He's working through B site at the moment. Might have the jump onto Igni, but Igni does it readjust at the right time. It's all about the timings here in this particular duel. Takes the reload at the wrong time. It's not going to be the ace. 10 seconds left remaining. Can this Cypher recover the Spike? Can they get the plant? No. Potato Warlord denies with the operator. Brings it to 6-4 in the favor of Team TJ.
Yeah, Team Fab actually losing 2 out in Orbital Strike was absolutely huge. They played so clustered together, and Team TJ, they figured that out now. It was the same for that previous round when Potato Warlord just completely sprayed down free, and it was the exact same that previous round when down comes Orbital Strike and out goes Team Fab's chances of taking that round.
Yeah, the ultimate usage. Absolutely pivotal in that one, and not to panic as well from that Brim, because you can so easily get in over your head in that situation. And nearly picked though for the defenders, Mikey and Potato Warlord chiming in with kills early on in the round. There's aggressive push coming through mid as well, so I think off the back of that play from the Brimstone, Team TJ has decided to get a little bit more confident, but will it be to their demise? Because that 2-man advantage has now been rescinded. It's a 3 versus 3.
It's at the moment a 2 versus 3, because look at where Team TJ are. They've had to keep one person constantly present on C because they're worried Team Fab are going to go for that wraparound, which means if Team Fab actually move in on any one of them, it becomes very quickly numbers advantage to the attackers.
Yeah, very, very quickly indeed. They're set up outside the A site at the moment. They're relying on that breach to be the sort of knife in the back here on the flank, just as those rotations come through. And here comes the timing. Execute on towards the A bomb site. Spike will be planted with those Brim smokes down. And now that Brimstone, we're able to hear that Sova actually rotate through towards the B bomb site. But there we go. There's the kills coming through. Great patience from that offensive breach there, as he'll be able to find those frags. And there's another one. 4 kills in the round for the offensive breach. And, well, we're 1 away between these 2 teams once again, from even at least.
Yeah, that's why you really, in Valorant, want to go around as pairs. Team TJ, they went around much more solo, much more fragmented, and it just meant that when the rotation comes through, when they all try to get to A, Team Fab just swarms them with the numbers. And so Team TJ, once again, looking like they haven't learned their lesson, going to go for a very split defense with, at the moment, 2 members holding down B, so waiting for any of Team Fab to peek that window. Hopefully there will be a rotation going through once they realize that all of the members of Team Fab actually are clustering and cloistering, wanting to push down C.
I guess 1 tick of that recon bot, 1 more than that breach probably wanted. As, well, at least that based off that information, I think the Sage on the defending team has actually pushed all the way through towards the underneath the window here, which is not a position you often check when you decide to jump out that window. So that could be a very important position there. Hunter's Fury comes through. The Cypher straight into the ball. So there we go. Actually, that tight angle will be checked by the breach. So at least there's a trade there. But again, there's still... Again, ultimate's being popped as well. That was the run it back for the Phoenix. Actually kind of wasted in that situation. At least he gets a little bit of information, but that's going to be it.
Yeah, Team Fab just waiting to see what they want to do. Potato is actually making his way
Ooh.
over to that race, and so we might be getting a shootout in just a couple of seconds. The race hasn't noticed that Potato's in cubby.
Oh, it's tragic. Absolutely tragic. Squiggles just walks to his death. There's the res, though, so at least there are still 3 players left remaining on the offensive side. But is it worthwhile res? Because there's 20 seconds left remaining. They don't have spike control. Potato has the angle for the cross that they'll have to go through. Wow, that's a great shot there from the breach. But 9 seconds left remaining. They have to get their running shoes on towards this site. Is there even enough time to get that spike planted? I didn't quite see it. It requires 4 seconds to get that one through. Spike is planted somehow. This breach left alive with the sniper now. Tries to readjust onto the Phoenix. He's still not dead, but he still also cannot line up the shots as Team TJ are able to get that one. But Team Fab, oh my word, talk about leaving it until last minute.
And imagine what you would have been able to accomplish if Swiggles hadn't walked past Cubby completely oblivious to that Sova. You would have been able to push, you would have been able to get spiked, and you would have been able to have so much aggression, so much space control, because when a Raze is alive, you are panicking. You are watching every single angle. You don't want to go down these really small, narrow corridors because paint shells exist and blast packs exist, and you don't want to be stepping on lava.
Yeah, you don't. You really don't. I've tried once. It's not good. But, oh my words. These games have been pretty crazy today. I'm really happy with them. But 5-7 in this one. Team Fab taking the advantage here on the offensive side as they'll try to work themselves in towards A now. It's... well, the camera comes through from the Cypher as well towards A long, and that's exactly where the offensive side is going. We are on the second half pistol round here, so Team Fab looking to break open the doors towards the A-bomb site. The recon bolts being sent through as well. There we go. Oh, a little bit of an awkward exchange there. Igni with 2 frags to open up the A-bomb site, though. There's the response from the Sheriff. From the breach, there's the wall from the Sova just to deny entry from the door. So to the window, they decide to go, but the paint shells denies the spike plant. Wow, that might have swung it back into the favor of the defenders here, as now they have to try and cross the site with all angles being watched.
And Potato is in such a difficult position.
Oh no!
Does the exact same thing and walks obliviously past Potato.
Oh no! How has it happened again? The Phoenix left alive for Team TJ now is, excuse me, as we just got those names swapped around, but it's Team TJ now on the offense as Alliator has to work his way in. That breach at least has been taken at least a couple of chunks of his HP out, but 26 seconds left remaining for that Phoenix, and it's not going to happen as the breach catches him through a bit of material with the Sheriff. As, wow, that was a pretty hectic round. Quite hard to keep on top of, but Squiggles, man, stop doing that, please.
Object permanence, it's the thing. Sankeys, it's the thing. And every single defender, every single attacker will be just waiting to hide behind a corner. You've got to play like there's someone constantly behind you, constantly to the side of you. Swiggles hopefully has learned their lesson, because losing Swiggles is so much damage done, so much spatial control. Such a hard time to win a fight out.
Yeah. No. Oh. Again, a little bit of an awkward exchange there inside the window as Team TJ try to work their way out. There's the spike being found as well by Squiggle, so making up for his bit of an embarrassing moment in the previous round. The boombot's through as well. Potato Ward's able to deal with it, though. But that will, again, give away crucial information. Blue lines up the headshot with the Marshall. And the paint shell's in, it denies, oh, it doesn't deny the spike plant, but finds a frag regardless. Potato Warlord able to try and stabilize for the offensive, but he needs to pull off. The 1 versus 3 now, tries to recover the rifle, but that just gifts away the opportunity for the Raze to cut him down. Defuse in, 7-7.
Yeah, Team Fab going to walk away with that point. A really nice defensive take as well. That time it was Potato going for that rifle. Cost that Sova so much. Didn't cost Swiggles though. Their aim was absolutely on fire, and they will be moving into this round with Showstopper up. And Team TJ, they have to respect the fact that the Raze's ultimate is up. This is something that can one-shot you. This is something that you were absolutely terrified of walking down one choke and finding yourself face-to-face with.
The breach on the offensive side also the brimstone on the opposite side is also one away from his ult as well, so the orbital strike could be available if he's able to grab one of those orbs especially, but it looks like Team TJ going to at least have an early little explore towards C here. The Sofa's going to be the point of contact. He's getting ready for the recon bot through. There is the showstopper. It does take out the Phoenix. So you called it correctly there, Moxie.
Yeah, and they're camping that ult point as well. Team TJ, they can't give their breach, rather their brimstone, that ultimate, because all of Team Fab is staring down C Long, making sure that ult can't be picked up.
Yeah, so they're keeping that in their at least position right now. Oh, Arc though with a neat little headshot onto the Sage as Team TJ, they readjust. Through a short they go, but it looks like Team Fab are all over this event. They've already started to get the rotations in, but the attackers, they found the entry. Potato and Igni doing some decent work there. They're able to bring this into a post-plant situation, but 3 versus 3 here. A retake on the cards of the defenders. There's the orbital strike. I said he was one away from it, but doesn't quite connect onto anyone. Was it even required in this situation, though? Because Blute's the only one left alive on the Odin, I believe that is, with the LMG. So, again, he's trying to make sure that this weapon does damage, and it does take out the Omen, and looking for more here. And Potato Waller, make sure he doesn't go too crazy with the big old gun. But Team TJ taking the lead now.
Checks 2 angles, unfortunately doesn't get the third. The one that Potato is actually hiding behind goes for the spike, goes for the defusal, and Potato goes for the punish. Potato actually has the only ability, the only ultimate rather, currently up, so this should be a massive advantage to Team TJ, but it's the Sova, it's Haunted Sphere, and this is extremely hard to pull off because you have to bait a team just right. They know where it's going to come, you get a little bit of a heads up so you can move to counter it completely by just, you know, meandering left, meandering a little bit to your right.
Yeah, you can see Potato Waller Titan's Fury's up, so here comes the shot. Not well, it does connect onto the Sova, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, as that breach tries to. Well, there's been a little bit of an adjustment here from Team Fab actually, because it was just that breach alone towards C early on, but now has the help of the Raze, and now the Raze decides to go back. So there's everything's in flux as far as this defense is concerned, and that's mostly because they've had 2 players push through A here, so they're slowly but steadily starting to pen Team TJ in.
And at the moment, C is just a Mexican standoff. 3 members of Team TJ waiting around C long with 1 member of Team Fab against the world. Looks like they are actually going to try and aggress in now. As the call comes through, there is no one currently actively behind them.
Here we go. This overall, it does connect, but doesn't get a kill, I believe, in that instance. As soon as Team DJ, you know, they don't have a frag with that. So overall, Blute though with the Bucky close range, another one with the pistol. With the shotgun pistol, excuse me, as wow, that's well, I never often see a high impact play from that weapon, but there we go. We've just seen it here. As Team TJ wondering what has gone on here, trying to peek with the recon bot out. That's not ideal, but he's able to get away with it. Plant with 14 seconds left remaining here. 2 players on that offensive to try and defend this post-plant situation now, with 4 of the defenders trying to batter open the doors of the B bomb site. There's the trade, but it's left with the brimstone of Igni left up against 3. He's already found 1, but he's getting quickly closed in on from all sides. Squiggles has a frag with the SMG, and again, we're all level.
And that's why you don't really see the attackers genuinely push B. It's much more of a feint, because once you actually get that spike planted, there are so many angles that you have to hold down, and it's just impossible. Team Fab were able to just split up, take all of the different sides, and just pen Team TJ in. Looks though like Team TJ, they've learned the lesson. They're abandoning their hopes of B, and they're just going to be clustering around A with perhaps a little bit of a feint into mid. They do, however, not have any ultimates currently up and available to them, so Team Fab will have the advantage when it comes to power.
looks like a sheriff buy as well. No rifles on that offensive side, as far as I can see there. So it's going to be with the big old revolvers towards the A side. I think for the vast majority of them. Looks like they're going to push in quickly up too short. They go through the tripwire, which will spell Potato Warlord's demise. The cage coming through for the Cypher as well to deny any further progress. So the Cypher coming up pretty important in this round so far. It is up against the, I guess, save buy for Team TJ, as again another cage down to make sure this A-bomb's at least relatively secure, and another kill for the Cypher as well. So looks like that Team Fab are going to clean up in this round. You got the push from Arc coming through as well. So yeah, this is this is just going to go the way of Team Fab at this point, and not entirely surprising considering the buys.
I mean, Team TJ, they were expecting it. They knew that it would be very hard. They went for that eco push, that deco push with the guns.
CS terms.
CS terms, of course, the deagle being the CS's version of the sheriff. And so it is just going to be Blue putting Mikey D out of the misery. This is when the proper push is going to come through. So this should be them picking up some really heavy hitting guns. I'm expecting at least a couple of ups.
I mean, Counter-Strike does have a revolver, but it's not as good as the one here, so let's just say that. But you can see a couple of ultimates up now. So you have the Breach ult, the Brimstone ult, and this overall up. So you have a res on that defensive side. Again, Brimstone, and you got to run it back up for Alliator as well, as he's not done particularly well this game. He's 5 and 15, which is not what you expect from a Phoenix at all, especially coming on towards this offensive side where he can really be pretty potent entry with his curveballs. As Arc trying to hold on mid here down the courtyard, and Alliator trying to push on through, trying to be the entry fragger that he's destined to be. He even popped the ult there, but gets denied by the Sage wall, as the Sage from the defensive side up on top of that wall, trying to work their way in, but not quite going to happen there. As Inkney finds one on towards the Raze, then readjustment here for Team TJ on towards C-side. That's a great little shot there from the Breach. There's the trade available from Potato Warlord. The Omen has found one, TJ, with the shotgun as well. So spike planted on C here as, well, now it's just that Cypher left alive for Team Fab, and his location will be known. But can you find the frag to be able to clutch out this round? There's one on towards Omen, so at least there's a slight possibility here, but I'm not sure whether he's wanting to go for this.
Not with his HP that low, 14 HP against 2 players. You don't want to peek, you want to go for that save, but unfortunately, with the way that Team TJ were positioned, you were not going to be getting out of that one alive. They knew you were low, they knew you were alone, they were going to be hunting you down.
Yeah, absolutely. So 9-9. So still nothing to separate these two teams. You got 2 operators on that defensive side as well. I think one of them's going to be... Yeah, no, it's not dropped out. Swiggles is deciding to commit to that weaponry. So that's an interesting one. That's a very heavy investment considering.
And they're not even really playing the angles that you would expect operator users to be going for. It would much likely be something that we're seeing the Cypher at the moment. I win next game where he was currently up in A, but no, they're actually going to be one down C long, and then the other on mid.
Yeah, the cage. So at least there's a gap in the side there, so that can be abused by the offensive side if they decide to push even further through. Arc, though, has been able to find an early pick for the defenders. That was towards the window, so at least some mid presence, or at least the defenders know what mid is relatively safe at the moment with that frag. Of course, they have no information towards the doors side of mid, which is where the couple of the offensive players are heading through at the moment. In fact, 3 of them. So it looks like it's going to be a C offensive once again, and it might be the right decision here, considering it's only a Raze on this side to try and defend.
And Raze is looking at C long at the moment, so if TJ tried to commit down the side, they might be able to catch it. Does hear the sign key though, so knows that they are going to be coming down that angle. Doesn't want to be caught out, and the rotation should be coming through from Team Fab.
Oh, there it is. Oh, Alliator, what are you doing? No, that's so... Oh, we'll forget about doing that. Oh, the orbital strike. Oh, just the plan. comes through, but the Omen's left alive. 1 versus 4 post-plant situation. I think it's planted for him, but he's on a shotgun as well, which isn't ideal for long range. He even gets smoked off by those Brimstone smokes. Paranoia through to try and blind them, but not quite going to result in anything. But oh, that was so awkward.
Oh, can you imagine the perfect counter? We've seen it now to Spike Plant. Orbital Strike. As soon as that comes through, it is abandon all hope. You put that spike down and recording the animation.
Yeah, I feel for Alliator at the moment because he's just whiffed the easiest spray ever.
That feels bad, but that is something that he will be looking to move past. Won't be able, though, to move past time because does not currently have Run It Back up and available. He's the only one on his team without that one ultimate, and that means that Team TJ are going to have a very hard time being able to get out of these scrapes alive because I don't really have anyone who can go for that peak besides the Sova. If you look at Team Fab, they're going to have one better. They're going to have an entire wall hack once that Cypher ult comes through.
Oh, the Hunter's Fury finds a kill on, from Potato Warlord. That's great there. The res, though, from the Sage. Potato Warlord already out towards the C-site. The Showstopper's out, but it doesn't even fire off a single rocket. Potato Warlord again. Another frag in this round. Mikey has the has control of the garage window as well. He can call off some of the rotations towards this C-site. So Team TJ should be good for this round. And it looks like they're making that more convincing there. There's a slight question mark as I saw that frag come through, but it looks like that Team Fab, at least this stage, should be considering the save here. But with the Odin, takes out TJ, and there's another one! So this could potentially be happening. The heal comes through as well for that Sage, so he decides to creep his way through. He's still on a bit of a time limit here as he has that LMG in his hands and tries to walk around with it scoped up, but Igni has the angle. But I would have loved to see a clutch with that weapon, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, it's a possibility. Very unrealistic possibility. With just the amount of spray, you want to just manage to get that one going through walls rather than actively peeking your head out. But unfortunately, it doesn't really shoot very well through stone. And so you're stuck in, well, not really a rock and a hard place, but between two members of Team Che who are both hunting for your head.
Yeah, so 10-10. It's still even Stevens in this one. 2 operators on the defensive side. So again, another heavy investment, and they haven't, as a result, since they've been buying up these operators, have not been winning these rounds convincingly. It has mean they've been spending a lot more creds than they perhaps really should have. So they haven't been able to build up. Look at this Potato Warlord. He's just walking all the way through to see sight, but can't win the gunfight with Squiggles there. That would have been a really important frag for that offense, as they might have been able to do that, well, really quickly and able to get the support through C-Short, but not quite able, as the breach with the operator takes out Igni. Alliator finally finds another frag to his name. He hasn't really been having the best of times on that Phoenix, but maybe starting to find some results here. Again, there's still a commitment towards C here for Team TJ. The Raze is still here, ready and waiting, but walks straight into that Odin of TJ. Spike Plant potentially coming through. There's the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't connect, I don't think. Although that Omen is still just hiding out inside of his smoke at the moment. There's the head being spotted, as TJ's time on this server is limited, it seems.
Oh, Team Fab were just able to collapse in straight on Team TJ, who just, unfortunately, they'd lost so many members to Swiggles hiding behind that crate. Every single time they tried to aggress onto C, Swiggles was there just cutting them down, and is not going to be sticking around there, though. Is much more happier now to just stick between B and C, you know, go for the connecting route and leave the real defense on C down to that breach.
Excuse me by typing, but with the game again, this is another really close game, and I'm personally enjoying it. The Bible into the window, paint shells through mid doors as well won't be able to connect, so neither of those abilities coming through from the defensive side. Careful through to flash. There we go. It does result in a kill. So Alliator with the Sheriff takes one out. So weak buy here for the attackers. The breach on the operator inside the C site, able to hold this one down for the moment. There's the Brimstone smoke to try and make at least a commitment towards C for Team TJ, but they've been spotted out on the rotation here through mid, as that cage will deny them the B bomb site, but TJ, they're just holding W towards A.
Oh, Team TJ, though, they might not be holding W any longer. They lose out on their captain. And yes, they have managed to get a position onto A, but Team Fab will have the numbers coming through any second now.
Yeah, and well, at least one of them on a really lengthy retake. The Stim Beacon down as well for the Brim. So there we go. Let's see how potentially important in this round it will be, because Team Fab, they are going to go for this retake 3 versus 3 with a game this close. Why not? Blue with that big old gun. Oh, he hasn't spotted out Potato. Oh, Potato whips the shot with the pistol. Blue's able to swing back around. However heavy that weapon is. Another kill for the Breach as well. It's just Alliator on the Phoenix to try and ace clutch it, but not going to happen for him. That was a bit awkward there for Potato Waller. They can get this defuse in, Team Fab, so that's not going to be a problem, but they're first up to match point, and again, another awkward exchangement with angles not being checked.
Yeah, unfortunate for Team TJ, but really, Team Fab, they had the advantage. They had the high ground as soon as they just go on to heaven. Unfortunately, Team TJ, they're just stuck looking up and waiting for that drop to come onto their head. So, match point, Team TJ can't afford to save any more rounds. They have to win every single one of these out and out, which means that they should be getting a lot more aggressive. They need to start clamping down these kills. Hopefully, they need to keep everybody up and alive as well. So keep an eye on that Sage. Has to stay alive, otherwise Red is gone, and they're going to be at such a disadvantage.
Phoenix was, the Raze was teasing with a push through C there. Although Potato Waller, he's found himself inside the garage, and the defender's not no idea about this. I think the Phoenix might have just spotted him there as he threw that curveball in, but looks like it's still actually going to be all a ruse, and it's going to be an A commit, but the Cypher finds 3 frags before being cut down by the O member. I think the Cypher's done a lot of good work here, bringing his team the man advantage, and again, it continues for Team Fab. It is now the Omen left alone, and to add insult to injury, he's not up against 3, he's up against 4, thanks to the res from the Sage. But with this operator now, can't quite land that shot. That would have been pretty pivotal in his chances, but it's still so unlikely. He has the ult up though, so he can teleport onto the C site. And there's no one here, so he potentially might be able to get a spike plant. I think Team Fab have realized this as they quickly try and rotate 2 players in, but this Omen has really increased his chances in the round, but can he pull off the play required? He can't land any shots here, Foxy. He can't do it. The aim certainly isn't there, as Team Fab are able to take the round and take the game.
He goes for a very strange angle as well. He has to go super aggressive with the peaks, because as soon as Team Fab start going down those sides, those shorts, those longs, it's very easy to spot him out. It's very easy to take his head off. Team Fab walking away 13-10 with the victory, so not as close as the previous series.
Yeah, there were so many whiffs that game. Jesus, there were so many opportunities for players like Alliator, like for TJ at the end there. And you're like, when is he going to land a shot? He's going to land a shot at some point. The statistics are probably in his favor, but apparently not. And
that's the really real reality of the grim reality of Valorant. You can do absolutely everything. You can set yourself up in the most perfect position and have sightlines onto every single angle. But if you don't land the shot, you don't walk away with the win.
Yeah, as simple as that. You still need a lot of aim in this game, and that's just the reality of things. As Potato Waller trying his best on that side and making it very close in the end. It's just that apart from the Brimstone on his team, perhaps people not quite stepping up to his level in that instance, because you can see on Team Blute's side, or Team. I think that was not Team Fab. There we go. I will be able to get that in the end. But Team Fab, the frags were kind of more equally distributed, so a lot of people, putting in equal effort there. As you know, frags aren't the be all and end all, but they are a good indicator.
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of cast the curse a little bit, because I said you have to keep your Sage alive. She's got the res ability. She's the one thing who cannot possibly go down first. And then I looked at that kill feed, Rapturus, and
Yeah.
it was Sage going down first.
Yeah, as we do have an interview in from the losing team, excuse me, since we do have Potato Warlord in there, as we are waiting for him to unmute us. Potato, it's unfortunate that you come away with the L in this instance, but it's not without trying, at least on your part.
Yeah, no, just got a bit unfortunate. Made a few misplays as well that could have won us a couple rounds. Yeah, it's just one of those times, some players don't play well on some days, they do on others. It's just one of those things, but it was a good game regardless, so it was fun.
Yeah, we did see a couple of whiffs, not only from your team,
Yeah.
to be fair. So it's I can't just pin that on your team exclusively, but at least as far as some of these awkward angles go, so some of those unchecked angles, is that sort of the basics that every team has to get on top of if they want to play at a good level competitively? Because in those sorts of situations, it seems kind of awkward. I think that's how I'll describe a lot of engagements in that game, was just awkward.
Yeah, it definitely felt awkward to play. It didn't feel like a normal Valorant game. There was a lot of off angles that people were watching, or angles that you don't really normally hold. But you still got to check them, especially when you're planting a bomb and like the team is. If you're defending, for example, you're going into a site, you need to check the angles because the time pressure can get to you. I got quite a few kills where people would run in on site and think, okay, we got to plant the bomb. I'd get a couple kills just by sitting in a corner essentially. Like I said, I whiffed a couple pistol shots. I think I whiffed
Yeah.
I whiffed a major one on the Sage. I was kicking myself after I whiffed that horrifically. But yeah, you gotta check them. But sometimes the time constraint just gets the better of you and you forget. It's just one of those things you got to practice. But yeah, it felt like a weird game, that one. It didn't feel like a normal Valorant game, I'll be honest.
So, with your talk about positioning and weird off angles, I noticed when you were holding down A, there was one specific side, one specific corner that time and time and time again you were just crammed into. Is that the thought process behind holding that one point that they're going to walk past you and not see you?
Um, I noticed it wouldn't normally be. I'd hold it once and then I'd get caught doing it. Like, I get a kill and then they'd check it every time. But a lot of the time they never really checked it, and I got a couple kills off it. So I kept doing it, and generally a lot of players think, okay, a site where people are holding, they're going to either be holding short, long, or they're going to be holding behind the boxes on site or under window. No one really checks that little corner. But normally you can only get away with it once or twice, and then the enemy team know and they start checking it, but they just didn't check it. So I was like, I can keep holding this until they actually start pre-firing me, and I at least get 1 or 2 kills from it. So that's why I
I'm
was
just gonna
sitting there.
start calling that corner potato patch now. And also see Cubby potato patch, because what was the thought process when Swiggles just walked past when you were in Cubby?
I wanted more. I'll be honest. Raze walked past me, and I was like, "Please, I want more. I want more." And no one else came. I was like, "Okay, I'll take it." And then I wide swinged it because generally they're then pre-firing the corner, like they're waiting for you to come, like they're like they're gonna slow walk round to pre-fire you. But if you swing out randomly, they don't normally expect it. But I got the bomb, but then I got greedy and pushed it. I was like, "Oh, I actually know." I went back, held long for ages, and it was 10 seconds left. And I was like, okay, I'm getting greedy. I'm going to push it and go for kill. As soon as I took my eye off it, I think it was the Brimstone, I think, peeked me with an AWP and killed me, and I was kicking myself over that as well. But yeah, very rarely you can get away with that, because a lot of the time you get away with it once and then they check it every time. So I only managed to pull it off once. I tried it a couple of times as well, where I'd rush with a pistol down there, but I got unfortunate where they just peeked me before I got down there and killed me. But it could be a nice little spot, especially if your teammate smokes it off and you hide in the smoke, you go in the corner and then they don't check it. But yeah.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much for joining us, despite not picking up the win in that game, but giving us some good insight into how the game's being played at the moment. So thank you for that.
No, cheers. Well, thanks, Chris.
Well, there we go. That was Potato Warlord there from the losing team in that game, but he personally had a decent performance, which is to be commended.
Yeah, I think Sova as well is one of those agents that has that potential if your team isn't really able to keep up when it comes to the gunplay. He opens a lot of doors for all of these plays to be made, because you can try to at least tip the scales in your favor of a team fight so that you can set yourself up to the best of your ability. And I think Silver is definitely one of those ones who does allow organized play. As soon as that becomes structured and comms start coming in, Silver becomes an absolute monster.
Yeah, he really, really does. And with that, that is all we have time for, unfortunately. Just the 2 games here today on the UK Valorant channel. But we have a lot more Valorant coming up for you over the next couple of days, because the sign-ups for our £100 tournament ends today at midnight. So very quickly get your sign-ups in. If you don't know how to do that, then just go to our Discord. If you scroll down a little bit on the Twitch page, there's a link that you'll be able to connect up to the UK University Valorant Discord, where you can then sign up to participate in that tournament, which will take place on, starting on Thursday, I believe. So that's going to be the 30th of April. So make sure you get the signups in time for that. But that's going to be the end of the broadcast. I've been Raptros, that's been Moxie, and we'll see you guys whenever we get to see you.
Cufflinks on my wrist, I can't act surprised. When the shovels hit dirt in the earth, did they start to cry? Since I'm 17, I've been looking for a place to make me be complete. I've been looking all alone out there for anything to make me feel alive. Bring me back to life. No sleep.